things have collapsed, but I consider it, I want to testify, I consider it quite improbable that Morton Harket or AHA as a whole were my enemies at the time, that is when I was in the primary school. I cannot recall the class, the grade in which I started listening to AHA, so I don't know how old I was, but certainly I was listening to AHA when I was in the 7th grade and in the 8th grade. I must have been 14 or 15 years old. Um, and I know that we are on two different sides of a war right now, probably. Um, and my testimony might not help, but I'm carrying out this war from my world, as me, Agnieszka Beata Magdalena Roje. And in my world, it is valid and powerful, and it weighs a lot. So, because I believe that I will win this war, eventually, I want to make this testimony. I consider it very improbable that Morton Harket or AHA were my enemies at that time. That is year 1987, 1988, 1989. Because I was very successful at the time. So there were some problems in my life which I believe have to do with the past of my mom in terms of my own personality problems. That is my inferiority complex. I suffered from a terrible inferiority complex. Um, um, my mom was not too confident already at the time. Perhaps she had been confident earlier, but she was attacked at an early age as a child. And in my life, it happened much later. Um, I mean, the attack of that scale or that weight. um, and then there's also the Soviet Union. This is the school named after Marshal Ivan Konev, probably the spotlight. However, I was top in my class, and when I took part in my maths competition, I was top for the whole school, obviously, and the 6th in the district. I did not take part in the competition which had theater as a subject, but I had pretty good chances of getting a very strong position too. Except that the subject was not mine. At the time I did not feel the theater, so probably because the theater we were given to know was for children. So maybe if I knew theater, then normal theater, not the theater for children, then if I had known, then it might have been different. But I was a top attraction to start with. So people were in love with me. I don't know if teachers were in love with me at the time, but they certainly loved me or liked me a lot. Of course, I mean a different kind of love. I mean, someone likes you very much. And they might have been envious already then, but it did not spoil the obvious liking displayed in every contact. So I loved school because I was treated great there, and of course it did not mean that someone would not insult me, but even in those insults there was a general climate of a good atmosphere. I was I was very attractive. I was the smartest. I was one of the most beautiful, if not most beautiful, um, actually, only not knowing about it. I had a perfect body shape. I was on the volleyball team and I was one of the best. Actually, we all were more or less equal in those terms, but I was very good for the start of the match, for the start of the exchange of the when you start another set, not set, another round of the ball going here and there. I don't remember the word, if it's just set or if it's a different word. But when you start, basically, I was very good at in defense. And I was very agile generally. The only thing that I was not good at was running at the long distance. So if it was short, I was quite fast. Perhaps not the fastest, but fast enough. I played table tennis and I was winning. I was a perfect swimmer. And I had a very good way with dogs. I was very courageous. When dogs were fighting, I would go between them and save my dingo, my paddle. I spent a lot of time with people, and generally we had our quarrels and our, perhaps not wars. We did not have wars, but we might have had our quarrels. But and I was rich. I was rich. I was one of the first to play computer games, actually. Generally, I was, the success. So I believe that if their attitude was hostile at the time, I wouldn't have been doing so great. Simply because the power of a private person and the power of the band with that kind of success is incomparable, and it's disproportional. So I just wanted to testify that even if things have collapsed. Agnieszka Beata Magdalena Narod. Oh, I also want to add that I was the leader. So Edyta Tylek might have inspired me to do a bit of harm, emotional harm and mental harm to Małgorzata Cetera. But when I had the idea of going to play truant on the spring day, the whole class was jumping out of the window after me, except for Agnieszka Rostok. I might have forgotten to mention a lot of other things. Anyway, well, it was Morton Harket, the primary school, my teenage years. Oh yeah, I have forgotten to mention dancing. Wow. Freestyle, definitely freestyle, but And of course, I listened to all charts. I knew all about music. I mean, the charts that were available in Poland on the Polish radio. I don't know why I did not check the lyrics then. I should have checked them, and they should have made me think. And even now, I have gone through all of them, even in the first 3 albums. I believe I should have been perhaps more humble in that, and somehow trust in having those 3 albums only. Except that the first one was stolen from me, Hunting High and Low. The second one, the tape was cut, and I have only the third one left. So I wanted to buy the second one as the CD record, but I'm having doubts about it. I believe that it's been a trap set for me, and Empik is taking part in it.